In San Francisco, let's just test the market is one of the most expensive sentences a homeowner can say. I'm Clay Gjevre. I'm a top realtor here in San Francisco, and in this video, I will show you why testing kills your first week momentum. By the end of this video, you'll be able to see exactly how two nearly identical San Francisco homes can end up $50,000 to $75,000 apart, just because one seller tested the market and the other launched with a plan. All right, so let's start with this. When someone says we'll just test the market, what's actually happening behind the scenes? Because almost nobody wakes up and says,
let's run an expensive experiment with one of our biggest assets.
But that's effectively what's going on. Here's something most people completely miss about testing the market. It rarely looks risky in the moment. It actually feels reasonable. Let me paint the test the market version for you. Because if you've ever thought this way, you'll probably recognize it. And you're not alone. It usually sounds like this. Let's start high. We don't need to sell. If we get our number, great. If not, we'll just stay. We'll see what we can get in the first few weeks. We can always do a reduction later if we have to. From the seller's perspective, they're thinking we're just collecting data. We'll see what buyers think of our price. From the market's perspective, it looks like a lukewarm listing with a seller who might not be serious. And that difference, how it feels to you versus how it reads to buyers, is where the trouble starts. So from your side, it feels like a harmless test. From the buyer's side, it's already sending signals about your price, your motivation, and how negotiable you might be. To really understand how expensive those signals can be, you have to see the market through the buyer's eyes. Once you flip the camera around and you look at your listing from their side of the table, this all starts to make a lot more sense. What I'm about to share right now might seem counterintuitive at first, but in San Francisco, the buyers usually know the market way better than the sellers do. Think about it. By the time someone's serious enough to write an offer in San Francisco, they've been watching Redfin and Zillow every single day. They've walked through a bunch of open houses. They've probably written and lost on a few places already. And they've had their agent breaking down comps on every street. So when your home hits the market, they're not thinking, oh, cool, a random house. They're thinking, okay, how does this stack up against the other homes on the market right now at this price range? Here's why that matters. Your listing only feels new and exciting for a very short window. The first 7 to 10 days are when your home is the most valuable to serious buyers and when they're paying the most attention. That's when they're texting screenshots to their partners, calling their agent, rearranging their whole weekends so they can make your open house. After that, the energy kind of shifts. New listings come on, your home slides down the email alerts, and instead of being the new one, you become that house that's still sitting there. And it happens really fast. The buyers read those signals. Your home's days on market are climbing. Something's off. No offer date? Maybe they're fishing. Price reduction? Let's wait and see if they blink again. When you say we'll test it for a few weeks and see what happens, you're picturing a nice, clean data set. What buyers see is a listing that didn't land well in its most important week. Getting this part wrong doesn't just mean a slower sale. It means fewer showings, fewer offers, less competition, and buyers feeling like they might have the leverage. But when you nail that first week, you've got stacked showings, serious buyers crossing paths at open houses, multiple agents calling with interest, and that's when the numbers start to move in your favor. So that first 7 to 10 days, that's not just a timing detail. That's when the market decides how seriously to take your home. And when you launch with a let's test it mindset, during that window, there are a few very specific ways it really starts burning your money. Here's something I wish every seller could see before they sign a listing agreement. Testing the market doesn't usually blow up your sale in some dramatic, obvious way. It just slowly drains money out of it. First, you lose momentum, like we talked about. Instead of a strong listing where the best buyers all look at your home in the same week, you get this slow drip of traffic. One couple comes the first weekend, two people the next, a random Tuesday showing here and there. It never quite turns into that feeling of, wow, there's real interest here. Why does that matter? Because competitive energy is what pushes buyers in San Francisco to write their best offer. If they feel like they're the only ones in the room, they're not thinking, how high do we need to go to win this? They're thinking, how low can we go and still get this accepted? That gap right there, that's real money. And second, you invite what I call the stale listing discount. Once your days on market number starts to climb, buyers don't ask, is this fairly priced? They ask, what's wrong with it? And it doesn't take much. 2, 3, 4 weeks on the market in San Francisco without a clear story makes people wonder if it's the price. Is it the condition? Is it the seller? Buyers may still come and see it, but they show up already primed to negotiate. They're not trying to beat other offers, they're trying to beat you. Third, you end up anchoring buyers against you. You start at a dream number. The market says, no thanks, so you reduce, maybe once, maybe twice. Once buyers see that pattern, they're thinking, okay, they've already come down to X, let's see if we can get them down to Y. Your price history becomes proof that your home isn't worth your list price. At that point, you're negotiating from a defensive place. You're reacting, not leading with strength. Fourth, there's the stuff you can count, carrying costs and stress. Every extra month you sit on the market, you're paying mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA dues if you're a condo, utilities, and often staging. 8, 10, 12,000 a month just to hold the property while you wait for the right offer to show up. And on top of that, you're living in limbo, keeping everything spotless, leaving for showings, juggling kids, pets, work, whatever. It's exhausting, and it absolutely impacts your decision making. Let's imagine two nearly identical homes in San Francisco. Same neighborhood, similar size, same condition. The comps say they should sell somewhere around 1.85 million. Seller A sits down with their agent and says,
we want a clear plan. We'd rather price smart and create competition than chase a number.
Seller B says, you guessed it,
we really want to see if we can get closer to 1.99 million.
Let's test it and see what happens.
Seller A lists at 1.795. The home is beautifully prepped, staged, photographed. There's a clear offer date. Disclosures are ready. Buyers know the drill. First weekend, big open houses, lots of disclosure requests. Agents calling with questions. Offer date comes and they get, let's say, 5 offers. 2 will be okay, 2 are strong, and 1 that really stands out. They end up, after negotiating, at 1.9 or 1.925 in 10 to 14 days. Clean terms, strong buyer, everybody moves on with their life. Seller B lists at 1.999 because, hey, it only takes 1 buyer, right? That's another famous saying from sellers. But here's what actually happens. The serious buyers look at that price and say,
feels high compared to the other homes on the market right now.
They might still tour it, but there is no rush, no offer date, no urgency. First weekend, decent traffic, but no one's really leaning in. Second weekend, a little quieter. Feedback trickles in, nice, but not at that price. 3, 4 weeks go by. Now they're at 25, 30 days on the market with no offers. That's when they've got to drop the price and they go to 1.89. At this point, what are buyers thinking?
Okay, they started almost at 2M. Now they're under 1.9M. Let's see how motivated they are.
They finally get an offer at 1.825. Maybe they can negotiate a little bit. Let's be generous and say they land at 1.85 after 45 to 60 days on the market. So on the surface, you've got a $40,000 to $75,000 difference in final price, plus an extra month or 2 of carrying costs, plus all the stress of being on the market for that long. That's the real cost of testing. It's not just we'll see what happens. It's we're willing to gamble $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to see what happens. Now, you might be thinking, Okay, Clay.
But is this really that big a deal in San Francisco specifically? Isn't this just how real estate works everywhere?
Okay, now what I'm about to share is why this whole test the market idea is even more dangerous here than in a slower, less transparent market. San Francisco is hyper transparent. Everyone sees everything, and they see it almost in real time. Buyers are on Redfin, and they're on Zillow, and they're looking at the price history and the days on market, previous list prices, even old photos from years ago. And because homes come on and off the market so quickly here, 30 days after they get a contract, and if it's cash, it could be 7. They're also seeing almost week by week what things were listed for and what they actually sold for. So when your home hits the market, they're not guessing. They already have a live picture in their head of list to sale ratios in your price point and your neighborhood. Agents, they see the full MLS story. Appraisers see it. There's nowhere for a test to hide. The buyer pool here is incredibly sophisticated. You've got people with spreadsheets, alerts, saved searches, weekly updates from their agent. They're using ChatGPT for everything. They're not emotionally attached to your test price. They're attached to what the math says and how your home compares to the last 3 they saw. So when something is obviously overpriced, compared to what else is on the market, because the buyers assume that you want more than the list price too. This is a whole other video for another day. They don't chase it. They just say,
"We'll wait," or "We'll go right on that, the one that's priced right."
And finally, in a lot of price points, buyers usually do have options, even in our seller's market. Serious buyers are always watching for the fresh new homes that hit the market this week. Those are the ones they rush out to see. Those are the ones they get emotionally charged about, and those are the ones most likely to get multiple offers. If your listing looks hard to buy, confusing price, unclear seller expectations, weird history, price reduction, most buyers won't fight their way through it. They'll just move on to the next. So in a market like this, testing doesn't position you as premium. It positions you as out of touch. So if testing is that costly, the real question becomes, how do you get the feedback and peace of mind you want without sacrificing tens of thousands of dollars? This is where a good strategy can completely change your experience as a seller. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're even 6 to 12 months away from selling, this is exactly the kind of planning I do with my clients all the time here in San Francisco. If you want to talk through your specific situation, my info's down in the description. The good news is you don't have to choose between test high and underprice and hope. There's a middle lane that gives you both data and leverage. First, stop thinking in terms of one magical price. Start thinking in terms of a pricing range. You want 3 numbers in your head: a smart, strategic launch price that invites strong interest, a realistic target sale price based on the comps, and a walkaway price where you say, below this, it doesn't make sense for us. When you do that, you're not guessing. You're saying, here's how we're going to use price to create momentum and get as close to our or above our target as possible. Second, if you want a sense of buyer interest before you go live, you can use coming soon and agent networks as long as you have some rules. For example, we'll preview the home off market for 10 days. If we don't see X number of qualified showings or offers, we go live on the MLS at this point on this date. Pre-market should be a runway to a strong launch, not a place where your listing wanders around for 6 weeks. Third, use an offer date when the market supports it, of course, to concentrate the interest. That doesn't mean you underprice and hope for a miracle. It means you price strategically, you have your disclosures ready, you're clearly communicating with buyers and agents, and give people a reason to see your home this week, not whenever. And finally, if you want to test something, test your presentation, not your price. Use your agent's internal network to give feedback on staging choices, photo angles, what features to emphasize, and small tweaks that might matter to buyers. It's like doing a dress rehearsal before opening night. You refine the performance, but you don't charge full ticket price to an audience that's not seeing the real show. Big picture. Testing the market sounds cautious. In San Francisco, it is the opposite. It means you're overpricing when your best buyers are paying the most attention. You're losing momentum in those first 7 to 10 days. You're inviting price reductions and low offers and stale listing vibes. And you're trading a strong launch for a slow chase that can easily cost $50,000, $75,000 or more. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. You're not just picking a price, you're choosing a strategy, launch or test. And now you know what testing actually costs. If you're a San Francisco homeowner and you want to see what a smart launch would look like for your place without any pressure to list right now, grab a free pricing consultation with me. And if you're watching this from outside San Francisco and you like someone who thinks this way about strategy in your market, use that same link and I'll connect you with a solid agent in your area. And when you do get those offers in, there's a next step that's just as important as pricing, choosing the right offer. So the next video I'd watch is the one that's on the screen here. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one.